I'll record it on the I'm recording it on the cloud, so this is on your server though, so you'll have to
Yes,
log
yeah,
into your
yeah, I
Zoom
will.
profile to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, I will receive it.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we'll start in about 4 minutes, and yeah, I think that'll be that. Shakiba,
Well,
good morning. Well,
Will he join us as well?
I don't think so. He's not,
Ah,
he,
okay,
well, maybe he will, but I'm not sure. So I
okay.
know he isn't presenting. So,
All right.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just checking.
Yeah, okay, great. So yeah, 3.5 minutes and then it's go time.
Thank you so much.
Well, okay. I think it's 9 a.m. here, Eastern Standard in Washington, D.C., and about 6 p.m. in Uzbekistan. So I think with no further ado, we'll get things started here. Good morning. everyone. My name is Owen Griffin. I'm an Assistant Director of Admissions here at the George Washington University School of Business. I'm here today with several of my colleagues, graciously invited by EducationUSA to speak here. Just want to say really quickly, thank you to EducationUSA for having us. We're always happy to connect with our colleagues, our friends, future students in Central Asia, Uzbekistan, and indeed around the world. So we're here today to speak about how to get into George Washington University, how the process works, answer some questions. Oh, you can't hear me? Maftuna can't hear me. Am I audible? Yeah, okay. Maftuna, you might want to check your audio output settings. There is a chat box open, by the way, so if folks do have questions, you can put them in there as well. But please do check your settings to make sure that you can hear and be heard. But I'm joined today by several of my colleagues, so I'm actually going to give them a chance to introduce themselves before we get into the presentation here. So I'm just going to go down the list from what I can see in the little participants panel. So Shahernaz, you're actually up next. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to the folks here, please do so.
Great. Thank you so much, Owen, and thanks to everybody for joining us today. My name is Shanaz Joshi. I'm the Assistant Dean for Graduate and International Programs at the George Washington University Law School, and our office handles all of the Masters of Law programs dealing with international law, intellectual property, national security and cybersecurity law, and many other specializations. Please feel free to chat if you have any questions, and thank you again for joining.
Thank you. I'm also joined by my colleague Amanda Radke. Having some audio problems. Sorry, everybody. Oh, Maftuna says she heard you.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'll go with it. It's early in the morning for us, so that might just be it. As Owen said, my name is Amanda Radke, and I work with Owen here in graduate admissions for the School of Business, so we handle all the MBA programs as well as the specialized masters in school of business and finding and smart. So thank you so much for joining us this evening for you, this morning for us.
Thank you, Amanda. And last but not least, we're joined by Shakiba Shahir.
Hi, everyone. Owen, my video is, I'm unable to turn on my video because it's blocked by the host.
Oh, sorry about that.
But this is Shakiba Shahir. I am with one of the assistant directors of admission and recruiting, and I will be here to help you with any question regarding application materials and whatever question you guys have.
Fantastic. So again, thank you everyone who is here in the audience. And again, thank you to EducationUSA that George Washington University is very excited to be here. Before we get into the actual presentation, talking about the details of the programs we have to offer, one thing that I didn't do in the last event that we had like this that I think is good to include now is a little bit of a history lesson. So your first George Washington University lesson, and I promise there won't be a quiz or a test on this once you start. But I think it's relevant to note that we are actually now officially in our third century of operation here at George Washington University. We were founded in 1821, theoretically with money left over by George Washington to start a national university. There is some debate as to whether that actually made it into the coffers of the George Washington University when it was founded. And there were a lot of ups and downs and difficulties in starting the university. But in 1821, we were founded by an act of Congress. And we're one of about 4 or 5 colleges and universities in the whole United States with such a congressional charter. Now, all of this is to say that when we call ourselves the George Washington University, it means much more to us than just the name that we put on the buildings, although that also looks pretty nice. But sort of moving into things, I just like to start by recognizing that, for a lot of people here, pursuing graduate studies in the United States represents an ultimate dream. It's a daunting, nerve-wracking process. You're navigating international admissions, rules, and laws. It's very difficult, but I want you to know that when you join the George Washington University, many of the people you'll be working with here have worked with students in your shoes before. Many of your colleagues and future classmates here at the George Washington University have walked the same path. So you won't be alone here. You'll never be by yourself in navigating these processes. So as difficult as things can seem, there are many people like me and like my colleagues here in the event today who are here to help you. And, joining one of the nation's premier universities, again, it can seem daunting, but here, at some point in the very near future, you will be here on the National Mall, graduating right beneath the Washington Monument. I'm a recent alumnus of our MBA program at the George Washington University. I was here last May. My wife is going to graduate in this upcoming May. She's going to be here. So it's a fantastic experience, and I'm so excited to be here to be able to help you all realize this dream. Now, in terms of what we'll be talking to you today, to sort of actualize these goals, we'll be talking about the university. We have been talking about the university. We'll be talking about the graduate program offerings that we have here. And we're not going to go in, really deep into detail about any one particular program. We're going to give you an overview of what we have to offer here, because we want you to see sort of at a very high level what kind of options you have, what might pique your interest, and what kind of conversations you might want to have moving forward. We're going to talk about the international admissions rules, because there are many and they are very important. One of the greatest pitfalls that folks fall into when they're going through the international admissions process here is assuming that they know how the system works. Don't do that. Listen to what we say and ask the questions that you have before you encounter problems. And last but not least, we'll be talking about funding, right? How much the programs may cost, how to go about finding funding options, whether that be scholarships, grants, assistantships, fellowships, loans, everything. We'll talk about it all. So with no further ado, let's dig in, right? Right now, we really do have, I don't want to say endless possibilities, but we approach endless possibilities. There are hundreds of graduate programs that you can choose from here at the George Washington University. We're right here in the heart of Washington, D.C., and this really provides our students with opportunities and experiences that they really can't get anywhere else. Inside the classrooms themselves, you'll be sitting next to peers and colleagues. I say colleagues from all over the world. We're a very international school with thousands of international students, as well as faculty from all over the world who aren't just experts in their fields, right? But they're also famous and influential artists, policymakers, dignitaries, thought leaders, and practitioners, right? We bring in the people who matter the most in the field, and we leverage their expertise to help you. And at that, the learning doesn't stop when class is over. Of course, learning is the reason you're here, right? So we understand that, and it'll be a part of everything you do. You'll be able to use your own resources, our resources, I should say, that we'll offer to you to forge your own path forward, and will help you find your internships and careers, right? You might find an internship at a nonprofit, could be the White House, who knows? It's 4 blocks away. There, you might be able to volunteer around campus and around the city. You'll probably end up studying on the steps of some of our most famous monuments. You're not only going to live in the center of one of the most dynamic economic ecosystems in the United States, but you'll be learning in it, and you'll be a key part of it as you move forward through your academic career and into your professional career afterwards. I think this speaks to why graduate students come here as well. I mean, folks come to GW because of the ideas that you're going to explore in the classroom and the extraordinary potential to make a real world impact those ideas have. But also, folks in these classrooms have a passion for making a difference. And our students do leverage that. They leverage that passion. They leverage a vast network of influential partnerships, research initiatives, and practitioner opportunities to hone leadership skills and put their knowledge to work. This is a dedicated and engaged intellectual community. We're bound together by our shared commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the benefits that you can reap from those in the classroom and beyond. What I'd like to say, just sort of to close off this slide, is that one of the most important aspects of studying at a place like the George Washington University is the ambience of learning. Right, this sort of ecosystem of learning that isn't just in the classroom, it's everywhere. It's in the student organizations, it's in the dorms, it's in the dining hall, it's in the grocery stores around the campus. There's the buzz everywhere, and you're going to be a part of that. Now, in terms of where you'll physically be, it's important to mention that we are here in Foggy Bottom. It's a funny name for a neighborhood, but that's where we are. We're right in the middle of Washington, D.C. You're very much in the beating heart of this city. This is an urban campus. I know this is perhaps not the best photo to illustrate where we are. You won't find very many big open grassy spots like that on campus, but we are very much a part of what makes Washington, D.C. move. Right? When you're walking down the street, you'll be bumping elbows with individuals from the IMF, the World Bank, policymakers from the White House and other federal offices, individuals who work at embassies and consulates, consulting firms and nonprofits and think tanks on K Street and Massachusetts Avenue, right? Like, this is just the space that we're in. You're going to get an unparalleled access to the experts here, world-class resources, and really access as well, not just to the stuff we can give you at George Washington University, but some of the world's preeminent research institutions. We have a world-renowned faculty that reflects where we are and the system that exists in Washington, D.C. And we also work with, we collaborate with numerous corporations, research facilities, government agencies, and international organizations, all branches of the U.S. federal government. The list goes on and on. Where we are isn't the only important thing. It's how we leverage where we are to benefit your academic journey. Now, again, I just want to show you a little bit more, a few cool photos of Washington, D.C. This is the National Mall. Again, this is what you can expect to be exposed to, right? When you're here in D.C., it is the beating heart of the nation's capital. Now, quickly, I'm going to go through a couple of the program offerings here, because there's a lot of great stuff that you can take advantage of, but you need to know whether or not there's a fit for you and your academic goals. I think somebody's actually drawing on my screen over here, by the way. I can see a few lines. I don't know if you can. I don't know how to get rid of that, so apologies if that's there. Whoever's doing that, please don't do that. There's a whiteboard, I'm being told, apps. I don't know why there's a whiteboard. Well, I don't know how to clear it, so I'm not going to try and look for it. Essentially, at the College of Arts and Sciences, there's a wide array of things that you can study here. We have a very broad range, from public policy and American studies to biostatistics and data science. Pretty much whoever you are, and no matter what you want to do, there will be a space for you in this college, right? This is probably one of our largest schools on campus, and definitely one of our most dynamic. Really quickly, if anybody here actually knows, I would like to clear this whiteboard and disable this function. Amanda, do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Amanda. Whoever is drawing on the screen really needs to stop. It's incredibly rude. Annotate. Oh, here we go. Clear all drawings. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so moving on from the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, we have the School of Engineering and Applied Science. Again, one of our most really forward-thinking and innovative elements of the George Washington University academic ecosystem is the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Highly quantitative, incredibly rigorous, home to some of the most state-of-the-art facilities and research tools that you'll find here on campus. I have spent actually an inordinate amount of time in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, working with my colleagues over there, and I'm always incredibly impressed by what they have to offer. Here at the School of Business, I actually work relatively closely with our business analytics program. Data science takes a relatively front and center role in nearly everything that we do in a lot of our programs. We're highly quantitative nowadays, and there's a lot of overlap and collaboration between the schools. For example, between the data science program at the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, the data analytics program in the College of Engineering, and the business analytics program here at the School of Business. We have the Elliott School of International Affairs, a world famous center for diplomatic excellence. The George Washington University Law School, I'm not going to touch on that too much because I don't want to, because Sharon knows more about that than I do. We have our College of Professional Studies, fantastic community of learners coming from all different walks in life and different points in their career. We have our School of Medicine and Health Sciences, I believe relatively closely affiliated with George Washington University Hospital. Again, an entire enormous medical institution right down the street, part of the university community. We have our School of Nursing, and last but not least, the Institute of Public Health, which was buzzing with activity all throughout the COVID pandemic. And I have been led to understand, actually led the way in a lot of the research that contributed to some of the solutions to that health crisis. So as you can see, there's a lot, right? There are many different things that you can study here at the George Washington University. There's so much to do and so much to choose from. And the question now is, how do you get here? And that's the million-dollar question. And for that, we're going to actually turn to my colleague, Shakiba. So Shakiba, please, if you don't mind, let's walk them through how to apply for graduate study. And I will actually move the slides, so don't sweat that. Just let me know when you need me to proceed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Owen, for presenting about our great programs at GW. So the good part, when you know which program you're interested in, go to our website, GW website overall, and then once you find out which program you're interested, review the specific admission requirements, because every program has their admission requirement. Like one program is different, the other program is different. Once you find out about that, then see which documents you need to upload in your application. Once it's ready, please review and submit your application. For general questions on admission, visit the graduate admission at gw.edu. And then for any other questions specific about which school you're applying for, reach out to their recruitment or admission team, and they will be able to assist you. Next slide, please. And then the application requirement for international students, and it's almost the same with each program, except for the law school, medical program, Milken Institute of Public Health. For other programs, you have to submit an online application to the Graduate Application Center. You must set up an account, you log in, please follow instruction on how to apply and how to create your application. For the academic requirements or records, you have to be eligible for the program for the admission. So to be eligible for the program, you must have an undergraduate certificate, or you have to be graduated from your undergrad program to be eligible to apply for the master's program or graduate programs at GW. The next thing is we want you to write the statements of purpose. We encourage all the students to write about their passion, why they're interested about this program, what they want to be in the future, what are their goals, and it should be your own word. You don't need to ask others to write for you. We need your own words and your own passion and your own goals. Then we ask you recommendation letters. Please reach out to the specific program that you're interested, because it's different in each program. Some programs we ask for 2 letters of recommendation, some maybe ask for 3 letters of recommendation, and make sure to submit or ask your recommenders a month before the deadline, so we can get your recommendation letters on time. Then we need students, if you're there is standardized test scores. For some schools we ask for GRE test, which is the graduate record examination. We ask for GMAT test score, and these should be sent directly to the GW testing agency, and the scores are vary in each program. And then additional materials that we ask you is your most up-to-date resume. We ask you for documents like your from each school that you earned your degree. We ask you the transcripts. In each program is I emphasize in these because each program is different. So program of interest, check what additional material they are writing for you. And then we ask you for writing samples or supporting documents as a requirement for the program. Next slide, please. So for international student application requirement, we ask English test requirements. If you didn't graduate from one of the institutions in the United States, we ask you to either provide us, I will go in details, but the 3 requirements we are asking from students is English test, international credentials, and also visa requirements. Next slide, please. For the English requirement test, we ask you either take TOEFL test, which is the test of English as a foreign language, IELTS, which International English Language Testing Service, or PTE. And the scores are different in each program. That's like a little bit different in each program. We ask you to provide us the score, and for the TOEFL, it should be sent to us directly, providing the code, which is 5246. This is a GW code that we ask you to send us directly your TOEFL score test, or for the other test, you can provide us the institution asked them to provide us those scores. Next slide, please. There is a minimum score for English test. If you're taking IELTS, it should be a score of 6 with no individual score below 0.5. And for PTE, it's academic 53. For TOEFL test, paper-based is 600, or internet-based it's 100, and then for PT academic it's 68. But still, reach out to your recruiter on the program of interest to explain you more about all of these requirements. Next slide, please. On the transcripts, we ask you to send us your transcript evaluated on the international transcript evaluation. We have links that your recruitment or admission team can provide you. One that I recommend, and it's really good and fast, National Association of Credential Evaluation Services. Ask them to send us a copy of your transcript, which some graduate programs ask you for each credit that you earn, or course by course evaluation. And also for the first, once you start your application, you can still submit your unofficial transcript, but make sure to work on your transcript, and before the deadline we have to receive your official copy of your transcript, which should be sent to us from the institution directly. It won't be counted if you send us the transcript as an official. Next slide, please. Do you want to go on costs and funding, Owen?
We're on costs and funding. Can you not see it?
Yes. So do you want to present on the cost and funding?
Oh, do I want to present on it? Sure, I can talk about it.
Thank
So
you.
basically,
Can I ask
Oh.
a question about the previous slide?
please, yeah, 100%.
So the transcripts, they should be, we should get it from NATSIS. We should get it evaluated from NATSIS. Is it a requirement? Because NATSIS requires around, the NATSIS members are around $200, $300 for transcript. So do you have in-house evaluation, or is it a requirement that we should get it done by NATSIS members?
Well, that's a great question, Zebacon. And I, you know, what I'd recommend you do first is, after you've decided which program you want to apply to, reach out to the admissions department that works with that program, because some colleges at George Washington University can do the in-house evaluations. Some will do in-house evaluations, even if they don't do them right now. some of them can't do it at all. It's a big school, and each college and school within the university system has different capabilities. And again, please stop drawing on the screen. I'm going to say that one more time. Maftuna, you really need to stop doing that. I know. All right, you're gonna have to be kicked out if you can't stop doing that, Maftuna. So as far as the evaluations go, though, if the college that you're working with can't do it, you will have to provide an ACES evaluation. There are accreditation rules that prevent us from admitting individuals without seeing an official evaluation of some sort. And if we can't do it in-house, it's going to have to be done from one of the evaluators. But again, reach out to the college that you're interested in applying to, and they'll have more information for you about how exactly that will work with their specific admissions process.
So
Right.
I have already filled my application and I uploaded my unofficial transcripts in the application.
Okay.
And there in the application, they didn't ask for NATSIS evaluation. So I just uploaded my unofficial transcripts.
Yeah,
So
Zebikon, let's do this. Let's take this actually, I'm going to drop my email address into the chat box here. We can keep this going, sort of outside of the presentation, and we can figure out, what you're applying to, what's actually going on, and then we'll sort of move on from there. Really quick, I know there are a few other questions in the chat box right now. I'm just going to finish getting through the cost and funding page really quickly, and then we can take on the rest of the questions, folks. So glad to see that they're here. So let's just get through the rest of this, then we'll move on to the questions section. Thank you. So just to pick up where we left off really quickly on costs and funding, right? Graduate tuition and fees at George Washington, no matter which program you're applying to, are roughly comparable to to the national average for most U.S. private universities. There's a lot of different information you're going to get sort of in the information ecosystem around here, but most of it's going to be available on our student accounts website. So just sort of screenshot this URL here, reference it in the future. There are PDFs you can download with detailed information and breakdowns on the cost of tuition, as well as any associated fees that you'll have to pay, as you join the program and as you move through the program. Luckily, there is a very wide range of graduate student support for qualified candidates. Oh, please, everybody mute if you're not me, please. There's a wide range of graduate support that's available here. There are, as I mentioned earlier, assistantships. Sorry, Susie, I need you to mute, please. Thank you. There are assistantships and fellowships, all sorts of awards and work study opportunities here. You're going to need to check out the Graduate Fellowships website for that, which is also here. We also have an Office of General Student Financial Assistance that I highly recommend that everybody reach out to after you're admitted to the program, not before. They won't communicate with you until you're fully in here. And if you have any questions about that, and in terms of what's available to you here, you can reach out to us by email with any questions that you have. And again, please, everybody, keep yourselves muted until the end of the presentation. Thank you. Okay, last but not least is student support. And I think this is critically important. As we move through your graduate experience here, it's really important to take advantage of the support opportunities that exist here for you. There are a wide range of academic services, as well as services that are specific to international students and students who live on campus or off campus. There are multicultural student services, so please take advantage of these as you move through. It's the #1 way to guarantee success. And folks who have been here for a while, who have seen cohorts come through and move through their academic programs, will all confirm that the students who take advantage of the student support services, the extensive student support services that are available here on campus, those are the students who see the most success. So don't be afraid, don't be a stranger. Our office doors are always open, and we're always happy to chat with you. And with that being said, staying in touch with us is actually relatively easy. I think Shakiba and I have both dropped our emails in the chat. So if you have any questions after the event, just save those and send them on to us. We'll be happy to keep you informed about upcoming opportunities, open houses that are going on, new academic programs as well. So keep in touch. Let us know if you have any questions. And once again, thank you for being here. So At this point, if you have, and I think we have a few more emails getting dropped into the chat box here from my colleagues. So if you have any questions or you need anything, you can reach out there. If
Can I
anybody
give
has any,
question?
you can raise your hand. Yes, Susie, so what's your question?
Hello everyone, and thank you to organize this. So first of all, I should say I frequently saw this link in the Zoom, and so I'm postgrad student in Uzbekistan, and just I'm preparing for taking IELTS exam, and I applied for flex and tech jobs, but it was unsuccessful for me. It was just a little bit difficult to realize my mistakes.
Okay, so you've had some issues with admission to the university. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I think what you should do, Susie, is actually utilize the email addresses that I put up here. So my email address is here, and my colleagues have dropped their email addresses as well. Shakiba's email address is there as well. If you have any questions about your specific admissions circumstances, I think what you should do is actually email us individually. This is a great opportunity to ask like general questions about admission and about the university, but we can't really speak to your specific case because it's likely that we didn't read your application. It's a huge university. So just send us an email and we can figure out what's going on and see who we can direct you to.
Thank you.
No worries.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Hello, everyone. I have a question.
Okay, great.
Well, how much does it cost the application fee?
Yeah, that's a great question. The application fee is going to vary based on the program. They're generally pretty cheap. I think the application fee for the business school right now is $80. And if you attend a business school webinar, we will provide you with a waiver code for a business school application. So, I don't know what program you're trying to apply to, but if you're interested in business, I'm the guy to reach out to. My email address is in the chat box, so if you email me, we can discuss registering for one of those information sessions. But again, this is one of those little fees that's going to change depending on which program you apply to. So again, as always, the best policy is to reach out to the admissions team for the program you want to apply for.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no worries.
Hi, sorry, I have a
Hi.
question.
Please.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just joined the
No worries
the
at all.
link. Sorry.
No worries at all.
I have a question regarding this. Thank you. I have a question regarding the scholarship. Is there any kind of the day that I need to apply? For example, now it's already April, right? I know it's the university is closed already for the fall, and then is there any like a first session or second session that you give a lot of scholarships for the students, especially for the international students?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, financial aid is always one of the top questions to be talking about. Ultimately, when you come to a university like GW, it's an economic decision, right? You're making an investment in yourself. It's a huge investment of resources, of energy, of time. So the financial aid, it's a great question. I'm going to actually go back, I think, 2 slides here for you. Okay. We do have 2 financial aid offices on campus. We have our Office of Student Financial Assistance, which is kind of the general aid office. And we have the Office of Graduate Fellowships. And the Office of Graduate Fellowships is great because it's a financial aid office that's more or less dedicated to graduate students like yourself. So you won't have to be competing with the freshmen in that sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And through that office, you'll find out all the information there is to be had about fellowships, scholarships, assistantships, loans, pretty much everything that there is there. So you'll be able to do that. Different colleges on campus are going to have their own sort of internalized aid as well. I'm not going to speak for other schools, but at the School of Business, we do have, merit-based financial aid that admitted students are automatically considered for. So, that is a thing. So yes, there are financial aid opportunities here. Is your program going to be free? Probably not. It's just a realistic thing, right? But there are definitely financial aid opportunities for those who look for them here on campus. Susie, did I see your hand raised?
Yeah, I have another question.
Okay.
When does the last application date?
Yeah, it's a great question. And again, this is another one of those questions that I hate to say it, is going to depend on the program you're applying to. All different programs have different application deadlines. And even at that, different application deadlines work in different ways. So there are some application deadlines where the application just needs to be submitted. There are some application deadlines where the application needs to be complete. You need to communicate with the admissions team for the program that you're applying to, right? These are the questions that they're going to be able to answer specifically. So definitely reach out to the program that you want to apply to and ask about the application deadlines, and look at the website as well. There's going to be a huge wealth of information available online. Do we have any other questions?
And I'm sorry, again, one more question.
Please,
I have,
absolutely, 100%, please.
Do you consider if do you consider if I'm gonna provide, for example, I'm an undergraduate student and or whatever, master degree or bachelor degree, do you consider if I'm gonna apply my, like, the certificates, what I mean, the some competition that I win, during my school time or university time, do you consider it? I mean, do you take into consideration that that my participation, my, that I study good, I have a good outstanding, marks?
Outstanding marks always look good. Look, we're going to take every single application document into consideration here. And I speak for myself because I'm from the School of Business here, but I think I could also speak for many of my colleagues across the admissions teams at George Washington University when I say that we conduct holistic reviews of applications. So we're looking at all the different elements of the application and considering the value that each different element of the application adds. So yeah, I'm looking at your resume. I'm looking at the conferences you've attended. I'm looking at the projects that you've been a part of. I'm looking at the competitions you've won and the competitions you've tried to win. I'm looking at the internships and the work experience and the volunteer opportunities and the letters of recommendation, which, please, by the way, letters of recommendation should not be written by your parents. Please don't do that. We're looking at the whole thing,
Sure.
right? So if so let me know, if you have any specific questions about other application documents, but generally, yes, we're looking at everything that you submit, and it all matters.
Thank you. Thank you. I will do that. I will ask my parents not to write for me.
Because they're always going to just say all the good things, right? That's the
Parents, usual.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I have a question that about the SAT certification.
Okay.
Is SAT certificate important for winning the scholarship?
Well, the SAT is more important for undergraduate admissions, right? So we're sort of here talking about graduate programs, so master's degrees. And at least at the School of Business, we don't look at SAT scores. That's only for undergraduate admissions.
Okay.
Like GMAT?
Yeah, so we're, some programs will require a GMAT or a GRE, right? So Dilnoza, that's actually a good point that Solievs makes, is that unlike undergraduate, which requires SAT, some graduate programs will require, as Shakiba mentioned during her part of the presentation, some graduate programs will require the GMAT or the GRE program.
Okay. For example, I want to apply the undergraduate program that I have an ALS and activities and a good GPA, but I haven't the SAT. Can I apply the scholarship?
Well, again, this is a graduate programs presentation, so I can't really speak to the undergraduate admissions, but I know that if you go to our website, there's a great portal you can use to reach out to our undergraduate admissions team.
Thank you.
Okay, and I actually got a direct message here, a question asking about the metrics for scholarship for full scholarship candidates. Well, and I think this is actually a great opportunity to reiterate that we review all applications for admission holistically. And I think, you know, what will generally happen, especially amongst the colleges that offer merit-based aid, is that applications are also considered holistically for aid. So there's no one particular metric that guarantees, you know, a particular amount of financial aid. You know, again, but you need to reach out to the programs specifically to talk to folks who work with the programs you want to apply to ask these highly specific scholarship questions. Now, Zeba Khan, did you? Oh, sorry.
I'm on the scholarship. So for the scholarship, if you want to apply, some schools, they ask a certain number of your GPA. Like the school that I am working with, if you want to be eligible for the scholarship, your undergraduate GPA should be 3.3 or higher to be eligible for the merit-based scholarship. So this is how a scholarship works. Like we see your GPA and your scores from your undergraduate program.
That's a fantastic point, Shakiba. And again, it just sort of, once again, you need to communicate with the program that you want to apply to, right? To learn more about the specifics about financial aid and admissions requirements. All we can do is speak generally, but please communicate with the programs that you're applying to. We do have a hand raised here from Zeba Khan. You can
Yes.
unmute.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, you know, some universities offer automatically applied scholarships. Does GWU offer such kind of scholarships? Like, you know, some, like when you apply and when your application is reviewed and you're offered admission, the admission letter is going to say, so we want to offer you admission with this much scholarship. This is like automatically applied.
Mhm.
Do you have such kind of scholarship? Or is it like only on the ones that you mentioned?
Yeah, so that's gonna basically, that's how it works at the School of Business, right? But again, different programs have different rules. So you need to find out the answer to that specifically for the program you want to apply to. You need to reach out to the admissions team for that program, right? I can tell you at the School of Business, we absolutely do that. But
So
other
School
schools
of
have different
Business,
rules.
MS in Finance is part of School of Business, so I can
Yes.
expect a automatically applied scholarship, right?
Well, you can expect that you'll be considered for that. I wouldn't expect that you'll get it because I don't know. I haven't looked at your application, right? You will definitely be considered. Every single admitted student gets considered for financial aid. Now, whether or not you get it, that's a whole different story. But you will be considered for it, yes.
Okay, thank you. So
considered
it's a merit-based one, right?
Well, yeah, it is. And I think Shakiba had something she wanted to add as well.
Yeah, to be considered for scholarship or financial, it doesn't come to your application automatically. You have to apply. Like some schools with graduate program, undergraduate program, which is bachelor's degree, some students get automatically some amount of money once they receive the admission letter. But for graduate program that we are presenting, it's a master's program at GW. You have to apply. For most schools, you have to apply for admission, scholarship, and then financial aid.
So communicate with the program that you want to apply to find out about how the financial aid works, right? You need to communicate with the program. I'm going to say it one more time. You need to communicate with the program. Once you do, you'll find specific answers to all of these questions. We actually have two questions in the chat, one of which was directed to me specifically, so nobody else can see it. What did we look for when reading a statement of purpose? It's a fantastic question. Some schools and programs will have specific prompts that you need to answer and follow very closely, right? So you need to pay attention to the rules for the application and do research and read carefully about what they want you to write in your statement of purpose. Other schools and other programs will have far looser requirements of what needs to go into the statement of purpose. So again, look on the website, talk to the program, and find out, what the specific requirements are. We do have another question in chat here. Can you apply with a Russian degree? Absolutely. We have many Russian students here at the School of Business, at least, and around GW. So yes, you can apply with a Russian degree, but you'll have to get your credentials evaluated, right? All international applicants, as Shakiba mentioned during her part of the presentation, need to have their transcripts evaluated by a NACES accredited transcript evaluation company like WES or ECE. There's about 20 of them. So, you know, keep that in mind, you'll need to do that. Somebody, yeah. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, well, I just want to one more time, I'm going to put my email address into the chat box here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. It was a pleasure to meet you all this morning. I want to thank my colleagues for being present, and you know, a big thank you to Education USA. Most importantly, a thank you to all of the prospective students here. It was a pleasure to meet you and learn about you and your questions that you have. And I look forward to hopefully seeing some applications and meeting you on campus someday. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Well, I'll do my
Thank you.
best. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.